Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It's October 17th. Welcome to my channel. Hope everybody had a good yesterday. Markets are crazy. All right? The markets are crazy. Semis brought down the market. Now semis brought up the market. This is like a swing trader's nightmare, this market. It really is. Holding positions overnight or anything, it's like, boy, it is not fun. That's why I'm not doing many swing trades as of late, just because this market is just crazy. So basically, Taiwan semiconductors reported good news, right? ASML and Biden with curbs, exporting curbs, brought the markets down with semis. Then Taiwan semiconductors brought the market back with semis. So crazy. It's just insane. It's really crazy. So that's what we're dealing with today. Okay? Unbelievable. This market never ceases to amaze me. So, without further ado, my name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, and the preceding day. This is my edge. This is how I read the market, right? That's how I come up with my game plans. Okay? So, hopefully, you guys come join me every day, 8 10 a.m. and have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea. I go over what happened yesterday, what's going on with the markets this morning, go over news, go over leaders and laggards. Okay, we go over economic calendar, earnings, upgrades, downgrades. Then get into the daily charts. Then I call it the main event at 8:30. That's where I analyze the Nasdaq and the ES futures and come up with long and short trade scenarios, right? And then once the market opens, it's new data. It's new data. So then that's where I base my day trades on the original blueprints we came up with, but then with the new data when the market opens. Okay, and then I post those trades on X at Gonzo719, on my YouTube Shorts, and on TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. All right, you can see the criteria I use to enter. I think they're very educational. Check them out. Um, and if you enjoy my content, of course, smash that like button. All right, smash the like button. And Nostradamus is in the chat room here. Nostradamus, Miss Rosa Daza. I don't think you're no genie there in the bottle for 600 spy. It's gonna hit there eventually. But Nostradamus is in the house. Um, Welcome as always. Um, this market keeps going up, so it's really not anything to hang your hat on. But this market is about to break out. So we will see. Okay, we will see. Now, why don't we get right into the futures watch list here? Alrighty. Who's leading? Nasdaq. No surprise there. Semiconductors, Taiwan semiconductors, helping out the market. ES up 0.48. So it's pretty much the Nasdaq's almost up double. 10-year yield is back up, so that's been tricky too. Dollar's up, gold is up, very odd. The Dow is up 0.13. Crude is flat. Remember, crude's an ultimate balance, so I expect that to just balance a little bit for now. Then it will make a big move. Silver is down 0.03. 30-year bonds being sold. The Russell's down 0.25. Ether's down 0.55. The VIX is down under 20 again. We're down 1.28%. Bitcoin is down 1.27%. Okay, 1.27%. All right, moving on to the Mag 7 Plus. Let's look at who's leading the pack. No surprise here. Nvidia's up 3%. They're up to almost $140 a share. So, just crazy. Just crazy. Broadcom's up 2.87. These are all semis. AMD's up 2.46. Apple's up 0.77. Meta's up 0.62. Snowflake up 0.50. All right, now, is there laggards? Well, Google is down 0.32. Boeing is getting hurt lately, down 0.39. In Coinbase, with Bitcoin's weakness a little bit, down 0.85, but Coinbase has just made a nice move. Okay, moving on to the top sector stocks, and let's look at it. Qualcomm semi up 2.34, no surprise there. My bad. Hold on a second here, let me adjust this. All right, so Qualcomm followed by Eli Lilly up 0.50, followed by Salesforce. Okay, now laggards. Who's lagging here? United Healthcare down 1.11%. That's going to hurt the Dow. That's the largest holding in the Dow. Obviously, the Dow is up, but the largest holding being down 1% should cause a little drag on the Dow. Now, Uber, I believe, got a downgrade this morning. So they're down 2.56. All right. That's what's going on there. Now let's go to a swing trade list. And who's leading? Taiwan Semiconductors up 9.77%. Okay. Expedia is up 5.41%. 5.41%. Not sure if they reported earnings yet. Let's see. Not yet. So that must be, we'll figure that out later. All right. Now, Travelers, they're up 4.96. I believe they reported earnings, so they must have had good earnings. So that's probably why Expedia is up. ARM Semi up 4.1. Supermicro Computers 3.59. Lam Research and other Semi 3.20. Alcoa up 3.16. Vertiv, my little baby, up 2.84%. Applied Materials up 2.74. You get the picture. All these semis are up. Marvel up 2.62. Dell up 2.46. Micron up 1.86. I think that's Cloudflare or Arista. I can't remember. ANET up 1.72. Western Digital up 1.42. Skyworks up 1.31. Donald Trump up 1.31. All right. Let's see if there's laggards here. There's a big laggard this morning. Lucid having some type of offering. They are down 18.29%. Fortinet down 2.64%. Riot down 1.65%. CVS, so healthcare overall having a little weakness. United Healthcare, CVS is down 1.51%. DFS, why am I not? Discovery Financial, maybe? Can't remember that ticker for some reason. Humana's down 1.35. MicroStrategy's at 1.33. Mara, so some Bitcoin related stock getting some weakness. Okay. Now we go to the guts of the markets, and you can see here, no surprise here, who's leading. Semiconductors up 3.24%. 3.24%. Crazy. Okay, then you got XLK, which encompasses semis, but it's only up 1.29. Utilities is up, financials discretionary. Okay, now who's lagging? A little bit of staples and healthcare, like I mentioned. Okay, so healthcare down 0.19, and United Healthcare has a lot to do with that, but it's not as weak as it would be because Eli Lilly is up. Just want to make that distinction. Eli Lilly is up. So healthcare is not as weak as it would be if Eli Lilly was down. Okay. All right. Why don't we get right into our economic calendar and news? Okay. Let's go right to the economic calendar here. Okay. Let's see what is going on. Today, we have retail sales, initial jobless claims. Okay. Philly Fed. That's what we have at 8:30. Okay, retail sales. Looking at a consensus of 0.3, previously 0.1. Initial jobless claims looking at 260, previous 258. All right. Have to see how that works out. Then we have at 10 a.m. business inventories and NHAB housing market index at 10 a.m. All right. Followed by crude inventories today, usually on Wednesday, but this week it's on Thursday. So at 11 a.m. crude inventories. And then Fed Goolsby speaking at 11 a.m. Fed Goolsby at 11 a.m. That's what we have today as far as the economic calendar. As far as earnings. Okay, so after the close, so Alcoa reported yesterday. All right, they must have good earnings because they're up. And then before the open today, Taiwan Semiconductors, Travelers. Okay, what else here? That's really it. But the big one today after the close is Netflix, Intuitive Surgical. Okay, ISRG and Netflix are after the close. Tomorrow morning, you have American Express, Procter and Gamble, Ally. Yeah, that's what you have tomorrow morning. So be on the lookout for that. Juice just talks about the Taiwan Semiconductors. Let's go over to some news here. All right, so basically, let's get to the news. TSMC bullish on outlook as AI boom blows quarter 3 profit past forecast. So Taiwan Semiconductors, the world's largest contract chip maker, bet on sustaining its strong growth after reporting a forecast beating 54% jump in quarterly profit, driven by soaring demand for chips used in artificial intelligence. That's why this market is ripping. Okay. So ensure travelers profit soars on underwriting strength, investment gains. So that's why Travelers. Meta lays off employees at WhatsApp and Instagram, The Verge reports. Meta is laying off employees across units including Instagram, WhatsApp, and Reality Labs. The Verge reported on Wednesday, citing people familiar with the matter. Okay. Now, this Elevance Health cuts annual profit forecast on persistently higher medical costs. So that's probably why CVS and United Healthcare are going down a little bit. Okay. Now, let's look at anything else here. So Discover Financial Company reported third quarter profit jumped. So that was DFS was Discovery Financial. Okay. Let's see what else here. We already talked about Taiwan Semiconductors. Now Lucid, the electric vehicle maker, said it anticipates to report a bigger than expected loss for the third quarter and announced a public offering of over 262 million shares. That's why Lucid is down big time today. Okay. All right. So news on Robinhood. The company launched its long-awaited desktop platform and added futures and index options trading features to its mobile app on Wednesday as the fintech firm aims to market share from traditional brokerages. So they're trying to compete now with the desktop platform. Let's see here. Abbott Labs raised its target price from 133 to 131. Meta got their price target raised to 675 from 600. Morgan Stanley, Barclay raised its target price to 135 from 121. Okay. That's the news. And we can go to some downgrades, upgrades, and downgrades real quick. And let's just go over this really quickly. Let's just explain some stuff here. Let's see upgrades. Enphase got an upgrade from a sell to neutral. Let's see Illumina got it from a hold to a buy. Downgrades, let's see here. Downgrades, 40net got a downgrade from neutral to underperform, so that's why that was down today. What else here? Uber, there's the downgrade. Outperformed to neutral. All right, initiations, let's go there. AbbVie initiated a market perform. Amgen, outperform. Bristol Myers Squibb, market perform. Let's see here. Gilead, outperform. These are all initiated coverage. Eli Lilly outperformed, so that's why that's probably up today. Merck, market perform. Moderna, market perform. Pfizer, market perform. Okay, that's good there. Let's go price targets, which just hasn't been great on price target changes lately. United Airlines target raised from 80 to 100. Target, yeah, these targets not great. They haven't been updating greatly lately. Alrighty. Let's move on to daily charts. And let's look at our good old SPY. Okay, let's look at it. So, semis brought down the market, right? And then we kind of bottomed out yesterday. Just couldn't go lower, right? The overall market. So just to explain yesterday, the overall market, right? The technology in semis were weak off the open, and it drove the market lower initially, with the Nasdaq being relatively weak. But the whole rest of the market was green. And the difference between yesterday and the day before was tech brought the market down with it the other day. Yesterday, the rest of the market was green, and the tech could not bring the rest of the market with it. It followed then with the rest of the market, and then hence you moved up for the rest of the day. Okay, so that's why you went into the middle of the prior day session, right? Now, of course, with this Taiwan Semiconductors, where are we at now? 584, let's call it 80. You are all the way basically at the top of, what is that, Tuesday's highs right here. You're all the way back here, which there's 2 days of sellers probably here. So if we break out here, then it's all-time highs again. All-time highs again. Okay, let's look at futures just to get a live look here. There it is. You can see exactly what I'm talking about right now. So you got a 59.15 basically resistance here. 59.18 is the all-time high. So we're butting up against this again. Now look, this would be the fourth day in this range. So once you're in a little balance range here, and then here we go. You could bust out today. Okay, bust out today. Now look, that's last week's highs. We're above last week's range. So yeah, still bullish. Okay, let's go to the Qs. Now the Qs are relatively weak. Okay, you can see what we did yesterday. Played some games, right? This was the games played by the Nasdaq. It's relatively weak, right? So we came back into last week's range. Yesterday, see what we bounced off of? The 20-day simple moving average right there. Came right to it, bought up, but didn't, close that like the prior day's close. So this is not that strong. However, now that Taiwan Semiconductors came in, let's see where we're at. We're at 495, 495.10. We are all the way here. So you are at last week's highs, basically. A little above it. So you're about right here. You're above last month's highs and last week's highs right now. But this is a daily supply zone right here. So this is a daily supply, which is usually strong when you have daily supply. So interesting if we get into this area 490, like ready 495 to like the 497 area. What happens here? Do you blow right through it, or does it get weakness here? I don't know. I really don't know. Let's look at futures. Okay, so in futures, what you can see is this range forming here. Now you have this double top here. Now look, in futures, we're right at, look, last week's highs, last month's highs, right there. Okay, then you got this double top. So what the Nasdaq needs to do is come up here to around the 206.50 area, and what does it do up here? Does it break out? Right? Because if you zoom back here, we're not at all-time highs. So what does it do? Getting some wiki here. Got some news just came out. Retail sales, initial jobless claims just came out. All right. So let's just check them real quick. I have them up here. So retail sales, month over month, expecting 0.3. It got a beat. They up 0.1 to 0.4. Initial jobless claims, expecting 260, got 241. So, interesting, right? So, initial jobless claims. In order the Fed to keep on that cut run, you wanted this number to beat this 260. It came under. So that could mean either probably stay on a quarter point basis rate cut again, right? I think this would be bullish if you beat this number. But let's see. In the retail sales, people are spending more money. Interesting. Interesting. Let's go back to futures, and you're getting that little wick from this news. I don't really think it's going to do much more of anything here. All right, now we can move over to the triple headed. Look at that bond market. Let's look at this together. So now you're getting some buying today. Not buying. This would be selling bonds, but these are yields we're looking at. So yields are rising again just today. We're going to be in this little range, but keep an eye on that. That's going to hurt Russell. All right, that's going to hurt the Russell, the rate sensitive Russell. That's why it's a little weaker today. All right, now let's go to the dollar. And what is that dollar doing? Dollar is just on a tear. When the dollar's on a tear like that, it's usually not good for commodities and not good for equities. Okay, so we're hitting the 200-day moving average at 103, right? So this is just kind of parabolic, really. So, resistance, maybe we get resistance at 104, 104.64. Got some key level there. Okay. Interesting, right? So that just gotta mean that euro is tanking. And it is. Look at that euro. All the way up here. It's all the way down past the 200-day moving average, right? And let's look at that yen together. What is the yen doing? Is that falling too? The yen is falling as well. Look at that yen fall. Woo. All the way back to this level, right? So very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Now we go to that third head. That's our VIX. Okay. Now the VIX is still at a 19.24. We have an election coming up, so I can see now the VIX was down here, and then it kind of, you can see, got some buying excess here. So we'll see. A 19 VIX is still a good VIX, right, for some market volatility. The volume has not been great this week, though. That has not been great. And I didn't mean to just get off that chart, but yeah, the volume has not been great. So we'll have to see here. Like I said, we have an election coming in less than a month, so that's what's going on there. Now we can go right into this. I can just get right here. Boom. Okay. Right into the main event. This is the market profile, volume profile, ES, and the NASDAQ futures. Okay. And we are going to look at structure. All right, structure here. Okay. So we have a profile here. Let's look at that profile. Now look. This is the little bottom excess. Then you have value area, right? Value area all the way up to here. That's 70% of the last rolling week, right? Now we have volume coming into here. And guess what? This profile needs some excess, right? If you want that bell curve to look like this, the market should push up, right? And what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Now, let's see here, right? Now, let's look at our structure, right? Now, 58.60, and I mentioned this yesterday. I said if the market finds acceptance over 58.60, that would be bullish, right? And here's 58.60. So the market yesterday opened here, pushed down to this 58.53. Remember, I was talking about this level here yesterday. it defended it. Okay, and then it was just like this, and then it started finding acceptance over this level. Now, me, I saw that. I did get long, and I was up in futures like 4 or 5 points, and I was like, okay, I just want to see. I think this can run. I brought it to break even, and I'm like, all right, I got a risk-free trade. It came back, nipped me, break even, and then I was like, all right, I guess it's just it probably will go higher, and then it did, and then it later on it went right where to the previous day's most traded price. So not a shocker there. Okay, it just the market took its time doing it, right? But it really held structure together. So price is here right now, right there, way up there, 59.17. Actually, almost a new. As I'm speaking, it just made reached all-time high equal to the all-time highs right now. 59.1850 was the all-time highs. One more tick, and it's going to be at all-time highs. Okay, so we're all the way up here now. There you go. We're in new all-time high territory, 58.1950. So we are in all-time highs right now. We just made them right now as I'm speaking. Okay. So this is what happened yesterday. All right, you went to the middle of the range. All right, let's see. And then overnight activity, right? So we opened here, pushed down here, right? Push down here. Then probably, you know, sometime, well, we can actually look at the time. Let's break this out. Right? So if we break this out, I can make this more clear to see if once this gets like this. Okay, so if we look at this together, the overnight, so we opened up here, pushed down, right? And then look at this. It just started ripping up. Now, we can look at what time that was. Let's look at it. That was around, all right, 1:15, 1 o'clock in the morning. That started to run, all right? And then it just ripped up. All right, so how I'm going to look at this is you're 100% net long from these lows. Because look at that. Just ramped right up, and we're right up here, right? And we're building out volume here. Most traded price of the overnight is here right now, but it should return to here. Now, we're at all-time highs. Probably not a fan of fading that too much. Just because of the Taiwan semiconductors, are AI. Mag 7's all about AI. So we can get rid of this supply zone as well. That has been broken. Okay. So this is the charts we're dealing with right now. Okay. This is what we're dealing with. So let's look at some levels together. Okay. So this is our most traded price of the week. 58.60 yesterday. You're nowhere near that right now. Okay. With the Taiwan semiconductor news. Okay. Now, we are at all-time highs now. So, and we're gapping up. All right, so let's look at this together. Here's the yesterday's highs, yesterday's lows. Here's the overnight lows. Here's the overnight highs. Okay, now happens to be 58.95, the 50% retracement of the overnight kind of lines up with yesterday's highs. That would be the gap fill. Keep an eye on that. We still have single prints here. Okay. All right. So I'm trying to see what levels we can really look at here, and we have our 59.18 to 59.15. These were weak highs, right? Begging to be broken, and they weren't. We're here now. Okay, so I wouldn't call these shorts broken yet from this little move. So that area where we're at now, this shelf of volume here, is pretty key. Okay, so what I'm looking for here, and let's talk about gap rules. It's up pretty big. So there's gap fill 58.92 right there. Okay, so Gap rules, let's talk about it. The most bullish is a gap and a go. Second most, and for me, I would just watch it. That I don't trade like that. So, second most would be a failure to fill the gap, and then it goes takes off. Third most would be a fill the gap all the way back to here and still take off. All right, a little less bullish. Door number 4 is if we come back into range, right? That just means that the buyers aren't as strong as we thought. You come into range. Those are gap rules. Okay. So really, we have no overhead supply. You have no resistance. Really, only you have this 58.19, this area of resistance. But it's already broken, but there's nothing up here at all. There's nobody there. Okay. So, key levels for today is the gap fill 58.92. 58.95 is the 50% retracement of the overnight. And you have this where we're at now. Okay. That's really, and you have the most trader price of yesterday, which was 58.86. And this demand, that could be bulls to defend. Okay. So let's get right into scenarios here. And how we're going to look at this today. All right. Now, there could be new demand. Let me just look real quick. There could be new demand that formed here. Yeah, so probably there's a demand zone right here. Okay. I'm probably going to draw one in here. So we're going to have to look at around this 59.10 area. Okay. Right around here. That should be the most trader price in the overnight. And you can see the volume here. Okay. All right. So let's look at our long scenarios. Okay. So number one, I just said this area right here, that's the immediate defense for the bulls. Okay. So I could even see a push up and then you come back. And now you're going to test, remember, this area and this trading volume right here. This could be all you get at the pullback, and then we could take off. And I don't know where we go. And I don't know where we go. Now, you do have some thin volume here, and you have single prints from the other day. These don't count as cleaned, okay, until the real-time trading hours. So anywhere in here that you find support, okay, that's bullish. So anywhere we pull in here and we do that, it's bullish. Okay. Remember, we could go right back to the gap fill and we still hold it, bullish. Okay. Now it all depends what internals are telling me. If this is just a quick correction, it's still bullish. We could even come all the way back to the most traded price of yesterday and dip into this demand and even push back up if the internals are not that weak. Okay. We'll have to see. I would be a little surprised if we pull back this deep, being that AI is on the forefront. I don't really, who knows? I don't know, right? I don't know. Okay. Now, as far as a short, like I said, I consider this 100% net long because everybody bought here. It went all the way down here and then it just got bought up, right? And you're at the top of a range. Okay. I'm probably not a fan of looking at short side too much, but I'm gonna put it here because it's obviously valid. So if you're 100% net long, I'm sorry, in the overnight, this is your area that you want to see broken. Okay, and then you have single prints below. Okay, so I would want to see a push up, come through here, hold. You could get a quick correction to the gap fill. You might get a little bounce here. If the market is weak, you're gonna revisit the most traded price of yesterday. Then you have a big demand here. This could be it for the short, right? But if we're talking bear, it'd have to rip down, break that, and go all the way back to the most traded price of the week, 58.60. Okay, if you break that, obviously you can go lower. Do I see this in the cards? Most likely not, with AI on the forefront. Okay, now what also can happen today is this most traded price of the week here, 58.60, could move up to 59.10, and that would be very bullish if that happens. It's not going to take a lot of volume to make that happen. Okay, just be aware of that. Now, anything can happen in this market because a lot of moves up have failed. We have an election. However, with the AI push, you know, you could get a surge here. Okay, you could get a surge here. Anyway, I think that wraps up the ES. Let's go to the NASDAQ and let's see. Remember, it's relatively weak, but today it's not relatively weak. Today, but overall it is. Overall it is. All right, let's look at structure. So structure-wise, here's our profile. Got a big distribution down here, and then we got a distribution here. So basically like a double distribution. Now, we talk about structure, right? Check this out, what it did yesterday. Now, I mentioned to you guys yesterday, I said there was 3 China walls here in the NASDAQ. And I said it will be very tough to cut through. Very tough, right? And then I also mentioned the month-to-date VWAP, the anchored VWAP of the month. Look what the NASDAQ did yesterday. Here's that anchored VWAP of the month. See where it came down to? So it tried to break this high volume node of 202.50. It tried, came down, hit month-to-date VWAP, and that was all she wrote. It bounced and then closed up here, right? So it defended this high volume node and it hit the month-to-date VWAP. And month-to-date VWAP just means buyers are still in control of this month. And now with Taiwan Semiconductors, your price is all the way up here. Okay. Now, I'm not saying I just buy off anchor VWAPs, but boy, does that show you the power of that anchor VWAP right here. And demand, right? And demand. All right. So, boy, that was, I looked at that and I said, oh boy, it's defending that. But remember, NASDAQ was still relatively weak yesterday. Okay. Now, different story in the overnight, right, with Taiwan Semiconductors. So we're all the way up here. Price is here. You are above this high volume node. You now are above the most traded price of the week. You're inside these single prints from the ASML news. So we're back into a bullish structure. Bullish structure, right? So we're in a pocket right now of volume because of these single prints, right? So the NASDAQ wants to do is bring that most traded price of the week up here. If it can come up here, now remember, this is big time supply right here in the market, right here. That's what I said, that daily supply. What's it going to do when it comes here? It might just boom and build that value, move that most traded price of the week up here, and that would be bullish. You still got an unfilled gap here and still not at all-time highs. Okay. So let's look at some key levels in the NASDAQ. Okay. So now you have an AI push, and that's very, very good for the NASDAQ, right? So we're pretty much 100% net long from all the way down here. The only level you got to care about today is 204.40 right here. NASDAQ needs to defend that level. But defends it, it's bullish. Okay? We're inside the single prints right now. They should not be resistant. Okay? We have a demand zone right here. All right? So it is, now you have the most traded price of the overnight right here. You got longs here. Okay? So, and you have that daily supply here. So it's all about this level, 204.40. And the week to date VWAP now It's over the week to date VWAP, anchor VWAP. And that is green, which means buyers are in control for the week. Buyers are still in control of this month. That's what I love about anchor VWAPs, right? Average buyer of the month is getting paid. The average buyer for this week is getting paid. Okay? That's what that means. It's indisputable. Okay? Now you do have some single prints here. That's probably from the Taiwan Semiconductor, right? But like I said, it's all about the 204.40. Write it down. 204.40 is the monster level in the NASDAQ. Okay, 204.40. All right, 50% retracement of the overnight is 204.1350. 204.1350. That's right under this big node here. Okay, so I like the game plan here. Okay, now let's go right into some scenarios here. Okay. Starting with the bull. All right. Pushing up, having a lot of volume here. Okay. So this overnight price, so like I said, we're gapping up big. So I'm not going to go over gap rules again. Big gap up into single prints. Okay. So you don't have much resistance up until about here, right? About 206.31. So gap and go goes without me. You got to put it in the cards. We could just go rip right up into this supply. Okay, that goes without me. However, I'm here to talk about a scenario for a long. So I think we push up, maybe even to the tip of the supply. Okay, and what you're gonna have to see here is what we do when we pull back. The first line of defense would be this demand zone in the most traded price of the overnight. That's about 205.10. Okay, you want to see what it does if we pull back here. Now, we do have our monster level of 204.40. That's ultimate defense for these bulls. Okay, so it could just hold right here in this demand and pop right up, and then you got this big supply zone. Okay, big supply zone here. It's gonna have to beat. So it's gonna have to get over that high volume node and kind of try to hold here, because around 20, what is that? 206. What is that? 20. Let me just get you the correct number here. So the old gap that's still not filled is like 206.82. So let's say from 206.59 to 206.82, like I said, if it starts to find acceptance there, you could make a move, push right up into this supply up to 207.50. Okay, now what else can happen? We could do this. This would be corrective into this week-to-day VWAP here at 204.40, which just happens to be a week-to-day VWAP. If you defend this and the market's not that weak and you just have a correction, yeah, we're going to go all the way back up, at least test this high volume node at 206.31. Okay. Below this, I'm probably not interested in much long. Okay. Now, short. Big supply zone. Remember, that's the daily supply. Okay. So, remember, this is not at all-time highs, but you have very bullish news. So, what we could do, push however we get here, clean the single prints, right? Then you got this high volume node here and supply. What do we do here? If we come up, start getting lower highs, right? You could possibly correct, right? And go down to 204.40. Possibly, but I don't know. But if we're up here, do people just want to sell? I don't know. But that's a possibility. You got a supply here. Okay. Now, in the bearish case, however we get down to 204.40, that is a big bull defense. If you break that, boom, 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 you got single prints here. We're going to go revisit 202.50. Like I said, and I don't think with this AI and the Taiwan Semiconductor, people are really going to be that bearish on tech today. But I could be wrong. Okay, I could be wrong, and that's why I'm open. You got to be open with these scenarios. Like I said, we really have to see how this move. If this is all single prints up to here, and we get up to here, we get okay. Then you can kind of push down. Like I said, I have to see how the market. If everything stays strong today, we're gonna go higher in both markets. And the Nasdaq is still relatively weak. If this pushes over Nasdaq to catch up with the SPY, it could be a big move today. Okay, that's it, folks. All right. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Please smash that like button if you did. I'm not sure who was here today. Probably Rosita, of course. But I appreciate everybody who did come in, and check it out. All right. And for the future, right? You can join me every day. Get the 411, have your coffee or tea, and join me and subscribe and set an alert. I'm trying to gain more subscribers. Hopefully, I can hit the 200. I think I'm at 195. I've only got 5 more to go. So if you're new, please subscribe. All right. And of course, you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. And of course, I post my day trades and the criteria I use on my YouTube Shorts and TikTok, Gonzo719 Trader. Please give me a follow and check me out there. All right. We have a plan. All right. This market's nuts. It really wears on your patience. Okay. It really wears on you because let me explain this before I go. What's been happening, and I would say the last 4 weeks, markets have not found much consensus every day. There's some type of disconnect almost every day. So generally, when we don't have elections coming and we don't have that coming, you kind of see markets most times move in unison more. There's not these big disconnects all the time. And every day, tech is up and the rest of the market's down. Tech is down, the rest of the market is up. Then you'll have like healthcare way down, but like technology up, but then financials way up, and then everything's fighting each other. So then what happens is in the day when you're watching it, it might move up eventually, but to get there, it's like kicking and screaming to go higher. Or if we go down, it's like doesn't just go down, it like kicks, screams and shouts, and then it finally maybe makes a leg lower. But what happens is it wears you out patience wise. For me, I'm patient and I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for my move. Okay, I'm patient. All right, I'm super patient. And then you make one little, maybe, oh, I think this might be and it's a little bit of a fake, and it might hit your stop, or you might break even, and it's like, okay. And then it happens, right? Now, this market right now, the NASDAQ, as we speak, is pushing higher out of that most traded price of the overnight. It's almost touching the supply zone. Okay, just letting you know that. All right, so anyway, that's enough of that. Everybody have a great day. Okay, have a great day. Stay green, stay patient, follow your game plan. All right, I'll see you.